Hello, welcome. I'm Chaotic Neutral Cosplay, and you have found my Lan Clan makeup tutorial video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to do your eyebrows like a proper Lan Clan member, so you can go out and capture the heart of all those demonic cultivators living in the burial mounds. Make me a proud con dad. The makeup that I'm going to be teaching you tonight is not necessarily exclusive to the danmei. I also use the same makeup for my untamed version of Lan Clan, so it really works for all versions of him. This is my first time doing a tutorial specifically for YouTube. I have done tutorials live on Instagram before, so this is a little bit different format for me, but I hope that it's both comprehensive and easy to follow, and that all of your makeup turns out amazing. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we're going to start with going over what I'm going to be using for my makeup look. You can use the same tools, you can find different ones, whatever. So we're only going to be using two brushes today. We're going to be using the brush. I know what this is. I should know what this is because I've said it like 3 times already. This is my 3rd try. I think these are angled eyeliner / eyeshadow brushes. We're going to be using them both to fill out our eyebrow and also on our eyeliner. So those are kind of important. And then if you want a spoolie brush to comb out your eyebrow hairs to make sure they're all going in the same direction, this helps a lot if you are going to do like shaped eyebrows. So I definitely recommend picking up one of those. For your eyebrows, you're going to need a brow tint if your eyebrows are not naturally black, which mine are not. I like to use the NYX Taman Frame. This is the black color. We're going to use this to kind of fill in the shape of the brow and then give it a little bit of an arch so it looks more like Lan Clan's. And then to actually fully fill in the brow, I use my black color in my rainbow palette here. This is the Take Me Back to Brazil by BH Cosmetics. And then to finish off your eyebrows, you're going to want some sort of eyebrow gel. This is just to kind of gel the eyebrow hairs in place and keep them from doing weird curly Q things. I use the NYX Control Freak, which again, I just like the NYX brand. You don't necessarily have to use this brand. But that finishes up our eyebrows. And then we're going to be using the Everyday Smoky palette by e.l.f. for like eyeshadow and shading there. And then I'm also going to be using a crayon eyeliner. This one's also from e.l.f. You can use any sort of crayon retractable liner. You're going to want the crayon though because the powder sticks better to the crayon than a pencil. And then it's optional if you want mascara. I like to do it on all of my boys just to give the nice streamy eye look. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Double Extend, that's what it's called, lashes today because I really like how well this one cleans up. It's very easy to clean up and doesn't flake off. You'll probably want a clean paper towel to wipe your fingers off because we're actually going to be doing a lot of the blending for the shadow around the eyes with our fingers, so you will want something to clean your fingers off kind of between colors. So that's actually all you need to just do the basic Lan Clan stuff that I'm going to be teaching you today. I am going to throw in at the end just a little bit of a fancier version if you feel like doing something fun or you just want to do a fancier version for whatever, look a little, you know, attract your wayward sons or something, you know. So for that, you're going to want a blue palette that has at least 2 shades of blue. So I'm going to be using this light blue and then this darker navy blue. This is the Galaxy Chic palette also from BH, but you can use any blue palette really. And then I'm also going to be using the Glitter Brilliance color Violet from NYX, which is just like a body glitter. And for that, you will want the glue that comes in focus here, which is just primer. It's like a little eyelash glue that you put the glitter on. So that's all you need to do the fancier version. The glitter is optional. I like doing it just because it gives it a little bit pizzazz. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna deal with these eyebrows. So you're gonna want your spoolie brush and you're gonna take it and you're just gonna comb out your hairs so they're all going in the right direction. So let's go ahead and do that. This will basically just get all your hairs going in the same direction so that when you go to fill them in or do different shapes with them, if you are going to try to do the Lan Clan's eyebrow shape, that it's going to be a little bit easier to get the powder in there to shape them. And it'll also look a little bit nicer. So it's like a prep tool to make it look nice. You know how you would prime something before you paint it. This is kind of what we're doing here. All right, and next we're actually going to fill in the eyebrow. So I'm going to take my very well used eyebrow tint and the brush that I can't remember the name of. The angled eyeshadow brush. I don't know. The brush I can't remember the name of. And we're going to just fill in the brow shape. So I start by filling in my natural brow, and then I like to fill in underneath a little bit and do the arch for Lan Clan. It helps sometimes, especially when you're first doing this, to pull up a reference photo. So if you want to do that now before you go ahead and start this step, pause the video, go ahead and pull up your reference photo of Lan Clan's face, admire it, and be like, I wish my eyebrows just did that naturally, and then we're going to start filling in our brows. So a couple tips to fill in your brows. One of the most important things I have learned about doing eyebrows is always start with your offhand side. So because I am right-handed, I always start on my left side because it's easier to match your dominant side to your offhand side, and that's been a huge help to me. So I like to start like on the lower part of the front of my brow and then start filling in the line to the middle of my outer brow, if that makes sense, and that kind of gives me a base to make my shape around. And then the arch here can be really difficult to achieve. You saw me wipe this one off, which is nice. When I'm using cream, I can kind of blend it away and just start over. Once I put the powder on there, which I'm going to do next, you won't be able to do that. So if I get really close, you can kind of see the outer parts here where there's no hair, or where I filled in up here where there's no actual like eyebrow underneath. It looks a different color. So that bothers me. If you're totally okay with that, that's awesome. I like to fill it in with a black powder so it all blends to the same color. So we're going to do that now. A couple tips if you're going to be using powder to fill in your eyebrow, whether you're doing Lan Clan's eyebrows or any character where you're powdering your eyebrows to make it a different color. It helps if you put a cream down. If you don't have a cream base, which is why I like the eyebrow cream, you want to take some setting spray, spray it on a paper towel, and then just tap your brush into it and then pat. Don't ever stroke the powder onto your eyebrows. You want to pat onto your eyebrows because it'll get the color intensity a lot more vibrant than if you're trying to stroke the color on there, if that makes sense. So that's big helpful. And then the other thing is, you may have seen me mess up a little bit right here. It's very hard to blend out the powder once you've put it on your eyebrow if you miss a little bit. So just make sure that you're using a small enough brush and you're not over powdering your brush, which is what I did, and then it just kind of went poof, and I was like, no! Now you can see my eyebrows are all pretty much the same color. All right, and it's time for the eyebrow gel. This goes on after you've done your eyebrow shape, and it's just a gel that'll harden and kind of set to keep your wayward eyebrow hairs like these two right here from falling down. So you have to put it on your eyebrows after you do the color. If you do it before, you'll end up with weird ridges in your color when you try to pat the color on top of the gel. So you can see it's kind of shiny on there right now, but it's gonna dry clear and matte, so you won't even be able to tell. Congratulations, you have made Lan Clan eyebrows. You now look like you're judging the world. So I'm gonna hop off the tutorial real quick and do my contour and then come back and we will continue. I return to you actually with a face that is contoured, so it actually looks like I have a nose. I'm not going to go over contour in this video because if I did, it would be way too long. But if you guys are interested in seeing how I do my contour, drop a note below and maybe I'll do another video for like contour and stuff. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the eyes. So you're going to need the eyeshadow palette. Again, a smoky eyeshadow palette works best, but you can do anything that has several shades of brown in it. We're going to be doing, we're going to be using the highlight color right at the inside corners of the eyes, and then you can tell which ones I like in this palette. I love the sparkle ones, but my go-to color is this color, and then we're going to also be using the dark brown here, and then the black for the actual eyeliner, which we'll do after we do the rest of the eyeshadow. So we're going to be using our fingers for this. I start with my pinky finger right here in the highlight color, and then I usually use like my pointer finger or my middle finger to do the rest of the eye. So we'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to pause here for a second and say I lied. I'm definitely using my pinky finger to apply the shadow, and then either like my ring finger or my middle finger to kind of blend it, or both. So what I like to do is kind of start on the outside corner and work in so that I get a little bit of a nice fade and then blend as I go. So we're going to go ahead and do the same color, other side, and right now it kind of looks like I have a black eye, but it's going to look good when we're done, so trust me. So now that we're here and we have two eyes that are hopefully blended the same, I'm going to take a quick minute and I'm going to check and double check that I'm blended everything evenly and it looks good. And then we're going to go ahead and start using that darker brown. And with the lighter brown, we kind of blended up into the crease of the eye. With this one, we're going to try to keep it right as close to the waterline of the eye as possible. It's still going to blend out, which is fine because you don't want to use it as the eyeliner because we are going to be putting eyeliner on there, but you don't want it up into like the crease of the eye. So kind of like a nice middle ground. And we're going to go ahead and do that now. And hopefully it'll make sense as you see what I'm doing. So with that darker color, I do kind of blend down instead of blending out like you would do for pretty much every other thing, because I don't want it to spread any farther. So I blend down like in towards the eye, if that makes sense. And then I really only bring it in like a little bit along the bottom corner of the waterline, just to kind of give a base to what we're going to be doing next. All right, so at this point, your pinky finger should be very dirty, so make sure you're cleaning it off between colors, because if you go to like blend something and your fingers are all dirty, you're going to smear like a dark gray across your forehead and it's going to look nasty. So make sure you keep your fingers clean between the colors on this. It helps a lot. Is using our crayon eyeliner, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to just do tiny little wings on the ends of the eye, just to kind of give that dreamy Lan Clan look, like you're dreaming about Wei Ying while judging, you know, Zhan Chang's ability to jump rope with Jinling or something. I don't know. So we're gonna take the crayon. Again, I like crayon eyeliners. You can use a pencil. I definitely recommend using a crayon for this look because we're going to be putting powder on top of it, and the crayon, just like the eyebrows, the crayon locks in the color a lot better, so it won't blend out. If you have a crayon that's got an angled tip or like a brand new one, it's going to be easier than one that's flat because the flat ones don't make lines as well. For what I do for Lan Clan, I do start in the back and I work up to the front, and that helps me keep the front a little bit thinner, and then I just pull the crayon back across there to kind of level it if it's uneven. And then I just do a tiny little bit under here to just kind of make that sharp little wing. And then in the front, I am actually stopping it at the point where it blends into the highlighter that we've already done. I've been doing wing eyeliner for a long time, so again, if this is something that takes a while to get, don't feel bad, especially if you've never done it before. But it looks good, it feels good, it makes you like, yes, I have the eyeliner sharp enough to cut down, I don't know, anyone who insults Wei Ying, you know. So now that we're here, we're going to go back to our brush that I once again have forgotten the name of, and we're going to go back to the smoky eye palette. We're going to be using the black color here at the end, and I'm just going to be using this powder to go over the line that I just drew around my eye. I like to use the crayon as a base because on its own the crayon will smear. If I put powder over top of it, the crayon becomes a base and it locks the powder in so it doesn't smear or blend out as much. Okay, so now that I've done one, you can see the difference with the powder and without the powder. I will be the first to admit that doing powder eyeliner is not easy, so if this is your first time doing it, go easy on yourself. It takes practice, and here's a couple tips that helped me over the years that I've been doing this. So you want to angle your angled brush with the longer bristles towards your nose as you do it. It does help me to fill out the actual wing part of the eyeliner first and then work up, because when you start in the wing, you have room to mess up. You don't, like, once you get up here, it's a very thin line, but out here you can have space to be like, oh, that was a little too close to the end of the wing. I guess I'm just making my wing longer, you know? And then work forward towards your nose. And then when you get up to the front where you have the very thin line, instead of using the brush flat, angle it a little bit so you're using the edge. And then I also use the edge for like down here. That's not as easy as it sounds to do. I absolutely know that. So practice makes perfect. Really, that's every makeup look is just a lot of practice. So, but you guys are doing good. I'm proud of you. All right, so if you're just here for the basic Lan Clan stuff, this is the basic Lan Clan look. I am going to go ahead and do mascara because mascara makes me feel pretty and I like to be a pretty boy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I I'm assuming y'all know how to do mascara, so I'm not going to explain that. You don't necessarily have to do mascara if that's not your thing. It's totally fine. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of the look. Make sure you seal with setting spray. Otherwise, stay tuned. I'm gonna put the mascara on, and then I'm gonna do the fancier little Lan Clan look with the glitter and stuff. If you feel like doing something fancy, to just be like, yeah, it's Lan Clan's wedding day, he needs some fancy glitter or something. So, and now, if you are interested in a fancier version of Lan Clan's makeup, I got you. So you're gonna need a palette that has a lighter blue and a darker blue. Okay, this is the palette I use. You don't have to use this one. Anything with a lighter blue and a darker blue will work. But we're gonna do a base in the light blue and then a darker blue, kind of similar to what we did with the browns around the eye before, just not as extreme. So we're gonna take pinky fingers. Again, I use my fingers for blending all the time. And you're just going to do a little bit with the light blue, kind of bling it up over the brow bone and really blend it out through this area. And then we'll come back and we'll do like the navy just right along that eyeliner. And I don't bring the eyeshadow all the way to the corner of my eye. I bring it about halfway and then I blend it out over the brow bone. Since I've done that, you can really see the difference, but it's very subtle. So it's really right here. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side, same color. Again, it's very subtle, but it's still there. And with Lan Clan, I feel like his makeup, when he does something fancy, it's subtle, but it's there. So now that we have the light blue base down, we're gonna take the darker blue. Again, this one for me is a navy. And we're just gonna do starting like right here in the last quarter of the eye and bringing out along the edge of the eyeliner. And again, I'm going to use my pinky because it's the smallest finger I have and the easiest to not get makeup everywhere else on my face. So let's go ahead and do that. So what helps me when I'm doing this color is to actually start in the crease of my eye right here and then blend it outward and then blend a little bit inwards. So it's really just like right there, because that gives me a base to start with and then a little bit of wiggle room on either side to kind of blend it out. So that is the base that we're going to do for the fancier makeup. And then if you have glitter and you want to go a step farther, we're going to do that next. So I lied, we actually do need another brush, and this one is just a non-angled eyebrow eyeliner brush. And I'm going to be using this with my glitter to apply the glitter. But first of all, I'm going to be taking the adhesive for the glitter. This is just called Glitter Primer. It's also by NYX. I'm going to be just applying it right along the top of the eyeliner that I've done. And I'm not going to be doing very much. I'm going to basically start at the crease and then back along the eyeliner. So it's literally like maybe a quarter inch of glitter. It's very subtle. If you are doing any sort of look with glitter, make sure you're using some sort of adhesive or it will end up all over you, everyone else, your costumes, your cat, your car. You'll find it in the bathroom 12 months later. You know how glitter is. So now we're gonna unscrew our glitter. Just kind of pat the glitter off here. And then I'm going to apply it to my adhesive. And you can see the difference. There's something cool going on over here that's just a little bit shiny. It's not over here, but you don't necessarily need the glitter if you don't want to do glitter. You can stick with the basic Lan Clan makeup. That is totally up to you. Makeup is all about personal preference and, you know, what you feel looks good on your face and what you feel you want to do for the character. So ta-da! Sparkle. So there we go. Just a little bit something extra. I don't typically do like the sparkles and the extra blue when I'm doing my Untamed versions of Lan Clan. I do that more for like my Danmei versions or my original robes or something, just when I feel like being a little bit fancy. But you can do as much or as little as you want to do. If you want to just do the basic Lan Clan, if you want to do a little bit something fancy, whatever you like. So from here, I just top it off with a little bit of highlighter, which again, I'm not going to cover that in this video. I'll talk about it if I do a contour video, but just a little bit of highlighter, and then make sure you seal your face with setting spray so it doesn't come off, you know, whether you're wearing a mask at a convention or, you know, just going out and doing photo shoots in the wild and you're wearing your face around all day. You don't want your makeup flaking off. So I'm going to go put my costume on and we'll see how this looks all together. So here's our finished Lan Clan look. If you guys do use this makeup tutorial, I would love it if you would tag me on Instagram. I would love to see how it turns out. I'm going to be a very proud con dad. You guys are all going to all look amazing. I'm so excited. You're welcome to come join me on Instagram. I do live stream makeup there a couple times a week. It's mostly danmei boys, but also a few whatever random anime I'm into at the time, you know. Otherwise, let me know if you enjoyed the tutorial. If there's another danmei character that I do or don't cosplay yet that you'd like to see me do a tutorial for, please let me know. And if not, you know the drill, like, comment, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!